Years ago as a training specialist. He was one of my first group of 3 hires, and I have to say I look at it as one of my success stories, of which I had plenty of success stories as I look around at other people that I had a hand in hiring. From the get-go, it's right when we started getting the learning management system, and first thing he said to me is, I would love to get my hands on that LMS and kind of play with it. I have a real interest in that. And so I tasked him with that, and anything techie he was all about. And 2 years later, when we decided to set up a new team that was going to actually kind of steer CBER training on more of a technology road, Manon applied for the job, and frankly, he was an obvious choice. It really wasn't very hard. I did interview everyone who applied, but it was just so simple. He came in and he had vision and leadership, and frankly, we weren't exactly sure where we were going because we filled the team with people that were already in-house, and while they had a lot of talent, we didn't really have training in Captivate, and we didn't know necessarily which way we were going to go. And it was his vision and drive that started getting staff trained up. He worked with the contractors to bring them on, and he kind of led how the workload that they were going to be doing. He oversaw the CBER training web pages, which I have to say we're pretty proud of. We're able to make them kind of dynamic because it was his foresight that said, if we want to do this, we know that the web team has their hands full with 508. We can't ask them to do that. We have to do it. And so he made sure that we were well positioned to do that. And maybe the thing, when we look at those Manonisms, and I'm sure you guys all have in your mind some that you've thought about and will add, the biggest Manonism was his ability to network and reach out to people. If I ever needed anything, you'd say, it was sort of like if anyone worked with Seamus O'Boyle, he always had a cousin who was related to somebody who had a garage mechanic and could take care of your car. I feel like that's Manon here at the office. Like, what do they mean about the LMS? And he knows exactly who to call. How are we going to get our software licenses up to date? He knows how we're going to call. When everybody else can't get something loaded because it doesn't have permission, somehow he gets that permission through the channels in a legitimate way that nobody else has been able to figure out. And more than once he said, we got to jump on this, Donna, because I don't know if the door's going to close, but we want to make sure we have it. So that's always been like the real pleasure. And in fact, when he first told me he was going to leave, when I got done crying hysterically and grabbing onto his legs and saying, no, 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 you can't leave, we started talking about all of his kind of knowledge and what he did. And it was like Lachelle was immediately tasked to sit with Manon and write down kind of what he knew, because his networking skills are the kind of things you don't write down. He just knows it. He knows where to go and who to see. So while I joke that we're going to brick him up in his office, sort of like an Edgar Allan Poe show, and just leave a little slot so we can slip in some food in the chamber pot, I have been told that does not fit that kind of classifies as a hostile workplace, and I would probably be told I couldn't do it. I looked in my house to see if I had any ropes that I could come and tie him into the chair, but again, that hostile workplace issue kept popping up. So while I'm wishing him well, there's a large gap that is going to be left to fill, and frankly, my heart is breaking a little bit. But I got some things I want to get. That's why I can't say goodbye. And I'm not going to look at him. I'm going to look at everybody else. So first off, one of the things that I have found as advice now that you're going from a team lead to a branch chief is I find that my division loves to play games. They're very involved. And I even one time had a bowling that we played bowling at
Breakfast.
an event for that was just a great hit. So I think that while my bowling set is underneath my desk, you should have something on your desk. So when you're having those team meetings, you guys can have something to do. I've also found that one of my little things that Donna does and gets people to come to my office and helps open them up is they love candy. And I have a candy jar. And I think you should have your own candy jar. And so,
I think the purpose of the candy jar is to let other people eat it, not for myself.
well, it's yours to offer it up as you see fit. But as you notice, I don't want you to be so comfortable there that people don't want you to leave, so I'm not giving you a whole bag of candy. I'm just giving you some. Also, as you know, when you go away, you're going to be taking notes, and there's a lot of things there's a lot of information you'll get. So when you take your notes, I want you to know that Zebra Training page, everything that you've ever done for us. And for those quick little fast minute notes that you're doing, when you kind of hear that sound in the wind, you know, kind of like when Horton heard a who and that little speck of wind that was calling, come back, come back. I want you to remember that's DMAT. Telling you, come back.
Good cartoon.
And I know that, so Manon is here with us for next Tuesday. He's actually coming in on Tuesday. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who's going to need to drown sorrows. So to help you drown your sorrows, we got you some wine that I'm pretty sure you said you liked. So.
Donna looks for prison.
Oh, your words to God. And so you can always find your way back to us. Here's a compass. So you don't lose your way. And with that, Manon, one of the pictures we're gonna, because I'm going to DMAT Zebra training you out the wall. This is one of the little clocks we give to people thanking you for training Zebra. And because now your commute is far away, or maybe you just want to drown your sorrows in more drink and food, because you're so sad and you can't believe you took this other job. Here's a little something to spend your money on. We're going to miss you, Manny.
Yay!